Hey guys, Lori here. There's an exciting new battlefield mode coming out that's being tested in C5 on H servers. And I wanted to show you the initial news about this, what the battlefield format is, the rewards, and what are all the new buildings and buffs that are available. This is really exciting because I love playing Shalans and All Stars because of the four different teams involved. And this is going to involve 8 different servers in one battlefield at the same time. So that's 25 keeps from each server. That's 200 keeps on one battlefield map. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. And let's get into the details. I want to say initially that this is thanks to Anya and IMEX on server 1081. I'm going to be filling for them tonight. And so this is just an initial sneak peek into what all the details are. Looks like this was the initial mail that was sent out, and it's going to be 8 servers to experience this Clash of Civilizations battlefield. And they gave us some initial freebies to set us up for success. And then when I go into the event center, there is a Clash of Civilizations event. And this was kind of late notice. I think the mail was sent out pretty recently, and this event is going to be in 5 hours. So a lot of alliances are like trying to get their people online and figure out who's available for the signups. So let's take a first look at the rewards. Looks like this is going to be given out to the servers 1 through 8. And then these are the rewards going to be given for the individual monarch rankings. That's weird because it goes down to place 201 to 1000. But I don't know who would get these bottom level rewards because there are going to be 200 keeps max on the battlefield. 25 keeps from each server, 8 servers. So yeah, that's 200. I think this like place 101 to 200 is going to be like just the rewards that are at a minimum available for anyone who jumps into battlefield. Maybe this bottom tier, like 200 plus, 201 plus, will be available if they decide to expand the number of keeps or number of servers participating. Let's see, and there's also battle logs, so it looks like that this may be a recurring event. And then let me go into the information icon first. Okay, so it looks like this will be available for people who own Clash of Civilizations tickets, and it's unclear how someone will get these tickets, like if this is going to be given out to anyone who meets the requirements, or if this is going to be a pay-to-enter event that's available through a pack. And let's see. When Battlefield begins, players are going to enter and land in a safe zone where they cannot attack or teleport. That sounds like the normal start of Battlefield in the 5 minutes preparation time. And then also, players will receive a truce agreement for 15 minutes. Some or behaviors will cause the truce agreement to disappear. So that sounds like SVS, where when you land on an opposite server, you get the red bubble for 5 minutes. And if you attack or scout, then your red bubble drops. So it looks like here it's going to be extended for 15 minutes. Normal 2-hour long battlefield. And then teleport chances are interesting. So this is new. Teleport chance limits will increase when receiving an auxiliary buff. And I'm a bit unclear on what that is. I think there are more details about that on the other page. And it looks like the chances will automatically recover if you stay in the same location for some time. And the recovery speed is faster if you're in the safe zones. That's interesting. At regular intervals, players will receive an auxiliary buff, and the troops will be recovered according to the player's battlefield ranking on the server. So first and last place will receive a higher percentage of troops. That's interesting. So like first place will get more troops, so to snowball an advantage, but also last place will get higher percentage to help them catch up. Interesting. Let's see. The troops obtained through the buff will disappear automatically when leaving the battlefield. And then, as per usual battlefield rules, the killed troops will be going to wounded in the hospital, and it doesn't cost resources to heal. And then after the battlefield, you'll get all your wounded troops back automatically. So there are a bunch of new buildings. There's the Empire City, Blessing Tower, Turret, Rally Hall, and Battlefield Hospital. And some of these names are repeats from normal battlefields, but it looks like they do new things. And these buildings can't be attacked for 15 minutes until after the battlefield is opened. So it looks like there's a city in the center of the safe zone that can be occupied and conquered. So that's like reminiscent of the throne during SVS. And if you conquer it, then you get 100% bonus to your scores at the end of the battlefield, which seems like a really good bonus. Like that seems like that would be one of the key objectives. Blessing Tower. There are 10 Blessing Towers. That's a lot. I think normal battlefields only have 1 or 2. And it gives everyone 20% buffs for attack and defense. There's a turret in the safe zone, and you can use that to attack other troops. So that's a lot like the throne towers during SVS. There's a rally hall to increase rally cap. Battlefield hospital to increase the healing speed. And a temple of civilization. I'm not really sure what that is, but it seems like a normal temple that's a lot like SVS. And then there are new buildings called Order of Dawn buildings. They need to be defeated multiple times to be completely defeated, and they will give scores and buffs to who defeats them. So this Dawn Temple, which is 1 on the battlefield map, it heals 30% of the wounded troops, and it increases buffs by 150% for 10 minutes. That's a huge buff increase. Dawn Sanctuary also heals 30% of the wounded troops for the server and increases the buffs by 90% for 5 minutes. Solar Eclipse Stronghold increases march size by 150% for 10 minutes. That's a big march size buff too. And then the Lunar Eclipse Stronghold increases rally cap by 50%. Wow. Okay. And then there are points you can get from killing boss monsters. These are new. These are called Shadow of Dawn. Not sure how strong they are, but those Shadow of Dawns go up to level 10. And then there are the normal bosses like B12, B13. It goes all the way up to Typhon. So I don't think it includes the new B18 and B19s that are available on the server. And then you also get points, of course, for killing enemy troops. And the points go up to only tier 15s. So this does not have tier 16s yet that are available with the K45 update. Which I think is okay because in this test, it's on C5, so it's unlikely anyone will have tier 16s at this point, but it's strange how this test didn't count for the latest K45 update. And so let's go into like the more details about this battlefield. 8 servers lasting for 2 hours, and battlefield begins after a 5-minute preparation time, as usual. But then there was also a mention of a 15-minute time when you have a red bubble, and if you do any war actions before that, then you break the bubble. So there are 5 strategic buildings and several neutral buildings. Interesting. And then a truce agreement. So yeah, this is the red bubble, and you get this for 15 minutes. You can attack buildings and other players without the truce agreement to remove it in advance. And these are the New Order of Dawn buildings. So it looks like they reused the art from some of the 3x3 castles. And I think that's interesting. The keep I'm going to be filling on has the 3x3 castle that looks like the one on the left, except it's a different color. So I wonder if that'll be confusing at all during the battlefield. Let's see. When defeated, the buildings will be on fire for a while and then destroyed. You can occupy them before they're destroyed to earn scores. Interesting. So this is going to remind me of like burning in Alliance City, where it's on fire for some time and then it gets destroyed. New battlefield buffs with new icons. Okay, so after getting the buff, the player will recover troops in the wounded, and you will get buffs for a period of time, and then killing monsters also has a chance to gain buffs with a limited number of times. So that's interesting. When there are monsters in BOG or Shalons, you can kill them for points, but they don't give you any buffs. Let's look under new buildings. So this Dawn Temple is on the left side. And yeah, it gives you 30% of the wounded troops back. And it gives that 150% buff. But if you attack it, you can't teleport for 5 minutes. So that's scary, because then you are a sitting duck for alliances who want to solo or rally you. Like if this battlefield is released widely and RSP gets it, then like 5 minutes is a long time to be a target of those RSP rallies. That's probably a good time to organize like rain assignments and get your smaller players to like ghost PvP marches, so that if you can't teleport, you know how to counter that. Dawn Sanctuary is on the right side, and this will also heal 30% of the wounded troops and increase buffs by 90% for 5 minutes. But I noticed that if you occupy this, you can teleport. So looks like the other one is a bit riskier because you can't teleport, but it gives like larger buffs in return for that risk. And then this one is less risky, but it also gives smaller buffs. Solar Eclipse Stronghold, there are 4 of them on the battlefield, and it gives increased march size for the players who defeat it. So it's unclear if that just increases the march size for that one player who occupies it and owns it, or if it's like for the whole server. And then the Lunar Eclipse Stronghold, there are also 4 of them, and it increases rally capacity by 50%. So if this gets released widely, going to have some scary rally caps available. And then Empire City. This is the Empire City, and like it can be occupied by players from other servers and conquered by occupied for more than 30 minutes. And I think this was the one where in the information icon mentioned that if you successfully occupy, then you get 100% increase in your points. Battlefield buffs. Solar Sight increases the buffs by 300%. It can be stacked up to 9 layers. Wow, that's insane. Like that means it can be stacked up to 2,700% if you are able to find and defeat these Shadow of Dawn centers like 9 times. There's also Lunar Sight, which looks to be pretty similar to the first one. Oh, I see. Actually, this first one is attacking troops buffs by 300%, and then this Lunar Sight is defending troops buffs by 300%. And that can also be stacked up to 9 times. Auxiliary buff. At regular intervals, you'll receive an auxiliary buff on the battlefield. After receiving the buff, a player will receive troops in accordance to the current proportion of wounded, and is based on the player's battlefield ranking. So I think that's the first place gets more and last place gets more. So that's about it. It looks like this is really cool. There are a lot of new buffs and buildings coming out, and this is what the map's going to be like. I can't zoom in any further than this, but looks like there are going to be two servers on each side, on each corner of the map, and then it's going to be a huge battle royale to fight for it. It's going to be really exciting, and I hope that this gets rolled out soon to all servers because we love Battlefield and RSP, and this looks to be like a really exciting version of it. But you know, this is going to be the first time having 200 keeps in one battlefield all at once, so there might be a lot of lag, there might be bugs, and we'll have to see how it goes.